Greetings, everyone. This is the Truth Will Rise, and we are back. The new video. I know I've kind of touched on this subject briefly, but I think I need to really kind of go in and really drive the point home of what in the world I'm trying to say. I did a video, at least I'm pretty sure I did, on the N-word and my thoughts on it. And I'm going to kind of encapsulate some of the things I said on that video. That I know with certain things that were thought to be taboo have been, they're introduced to the media and other outlets until they're kind of desensitized or made trendy or cool or whatever. And that's been the same with that particular word. Because when I grew up, saying that would get you beat all the way down. In some cases, it still does. But, which I'm going to come back to that point. But now, I hear the word thrown around just all the time. Like, it's acceptable. And it's cool. And I know I hear some people say, well, we've taken the negative and turned it into a positive. And, we've taken the power away from the word and blah, 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 and all this stupid garbage. And that's that whole, to me, that's partially that slave mentality that, we'll take the scrapple and turn it into soul food, but at the end of the day, it's still not good for you, And if you get that from that, or that slave religion that they forced on us, or some of us. Anyway, that you take that and you try to make something good rather than just, eliminating it altogether. But we don't do that. And I think one of the things, because it's not a word that I use, and I have a problem with it. I don't care if you're white, black, purple, or green, whatever. I don't like the word, period. And it's not a word that's in my vocabulary. But I think for those of you who think it is acceptable, you know what you should do? Go and talk, if you're fortunate enough to still have them around, go talk to your grandparents. And I'm not talking about these new school, and I'm driving so I can't, grandparents where granny's like 39 or something. I'm talking about old school grandma. Go talk to them, or your great-grandparents. You have older people that you know. Why don't you go talk to them, okay? Why don't you go talk to somebody who couldn't sit at a lunch counter and be served, who had to drink from separate water fountains, okay? Who had to deal with the real intent behind that word, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you go talk to them, okay, and find out what they went through? Go to a civil rights museum. There's one in my hometown of Albany, Georgia, for those of you who are in that area and may see this. There's one in Birmingham, Alabama. There's some all around. Do some research on things that went down. Did Emmett Till get just absolutely murdered so you could sit around and call each other niggas like it's cool? Were people lynched? Why don't you look up Black Wall Street and find and then see if you still think that word is cool? And I don't care if you put a A at the end, a AZ, or whatever. It's the same thing, okay? Don't try to split semantical hairs, okay? And then I want you to see if you think that that's still cool, okay? Because the way I look at it is that as a slap in the face to every person who marched, who got water hoses and fire cannons and dogs turned on them, to people who had their houses bombed, who had crosses burned in their front yard, who were beaten, who had to sleep in, who couldn't even go to a hotel, who couldn't go in lunch counters. All of those things, that's an insult to every last one of them. And this is a shame that in 2013, I have to make this video. We're just coming off Black History Month. I'm going to make a video about that. But that this still goes on. Did you see that word thrown around like it's Wednesday? Like that, it's just commonplace, and that absolutely disgusts me. And if you use that word like that, then as far as I'm concerned, I look at you the same way as any other races out there, because you are an enemy to real Moorish black people in America, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? Because somebody told you if you take it, you can put a spin on it and make it cool. And it's not the case. Okay? So I don't care what they told you. At the end of the day, it's not. And if you use the one, you need to do your homework on it, and then you need to cut that nonsense out. Okay? Because it's not cool. It's not acceptable. And that playing to the lowest common denominator is one of the reasons our people are in such the absolutely jacked up predicament that we're in right now. We just go to the lowest thing, and then we try to elevate some garbage like it's cool. Hey, you don't see other communities doing this, but us. We got to do this. And I'm so sick of it. And it's time for more of us, and a lot of us have, to speak out on this and get this, I'm going to call it what it is, you may not like it, this coonery, or one form of it, stamped out in our community. I know a lot of it has been elevated because a lot of coonery is put on television or whatever, and like I talked about earlier in the video, you know, the media is one of the avenues that's used to push that. But at the end of the day, if we can't address each other in anything better than that, then we can't get anywhere, because that shows a general lack of respect for ourselves and each other. And if you can't get with that, then I don't know what to tell you. This is The Truth Will Rise, and I'm wishing everybody peace, power, and positivity.